It's been almost 2 months now since the German elections, and Chancellor Angela Merkel has yet to form a government. She's been in preliminary talks with potential coalition partners, but thus far hasn't been able to narrow the differences enough to move on to formal talks. To take us through the unprecedented possibilities is Bloomberg's Buergin. He's over in Berlin. So, Reiner, the most basic question is, what's taking so long?
Well, it's an unprecedented task ahead for Merkel. I mean, never before in Germany's post-war history have they tried to forge a coalition of four parties that are actually very far apart on many issues, such as migration and energy and the environment. So it's never been tried before, and that's probably one of the reasons why it's taking so long.
So, Reiner, you mentioned what they have agreed on, more or less. Or, I'm sorry, what they disagree on. What have they agreed on? Anything?
Well, a few points. Germany's digital infrastructure is actually very, very poor. It lags behind many of its international competitors. Fiber optic broadband is hardly something that consumers can use for super high-speed internet. And actually, Germany's schools and education system, which was once one of the best in the world, is really quite poor. You have schools with leaking roofs, which is mainly because the communities that have to pay for the schools are so poor. So they've tried to find a way to pump money into that, improve education, spend more on R&D, do something on the digital economy.
And Reiner, finally, if in fact Angela Merkel cannot pull this coalition together, what are her options? Is another election really an option? As I understand it, that's never been done in post-war Germany.
Yeah, if the sticking points, which is, as I said, migration and the environment, if they prove to be too contentious to solve, and if these sounding out these exploratory talks which are going on, if they fail, and if they can't agree on anything, then Merkel would have the option to go back to the SPD, the party with which she had a grand coalition, and ask them if they would like to join coalition talks. And if that fails, then we would see new elections, and that would indeed be a sign of instability in Germany and something that has never happened before in this country after the war.